Another tough day at the office for Rangers, made even harder when you're playing with 10 men.
Yeah, it was. I mean, listen, Jess, I mean, the red card, and we might hear excuses from Rangers. Yeah, it was maybe difficult the second half because you're down to 10 men. But when it was 11 v 11, Genk still had opportunities in the match, the better of the chances, shall I say. As I said, Diamonde, it was a red card. Then Jack Butland saves that penalty from Oh. But the second half, I mean, it was as easy. Any time Genk went forward, they looked as if they could score. Rangers, and I mean, we've seen it in the past where teams are down to 10 men and they make it difficult for teams. They can frustrate them. They can hit in the counter-attack. They're very rigid and hard to get through. They're hard to break down. Total opposite with Rangers. I know the scoreline says 1-0, but it could quite easily have been, 3 or 4, and Rangers couldn't have any complaints. There was a VAR check in the first half for a penalty for Rangers. James Tavernier was adjudged just to have pushed the Genk fullback, and the penalty wasn't given. For me, it was a correct decision. End up there was a little nudge there, but as I said, Rangers might point to the red card as a turning point in the match, but I felt personally that Genk were still the better team at that, and the pressure just intensifies on Russell Martin. Andrew Kavanagh, the Rangers chairman, was there tonight. The chorus of boos at the end from the fans that were still there. He will now understand what's been going on now for a number of weeks. Rangers obviously won the game at the weekend, and it was probably not as bad as it's been. And Andrew Kavanagh has never experienced that. He has experienced Rangers playing in Europe and seen and heard what European nights can be at Ibrox and on the road. But tonight he's got to be sitting asking himself, is this what he wants as a Rangers chairman? Because it seems a whole disconnect from the club. The fans have totally finished. They feel as if it's time up anyway. Rangers keep losing games of football. I think Patrick Stewart will have a lot of answers to questions to answer now as well. The Rangers fans already turned on him with the protests at the weekend. And now Rangers are going into a period where I think the next 3 games are away from home, and it's not going to get any easier.
Just briefly explain, Kris, how long will Russell Martin last in his job?
I don't know, Jess. I think a lot of Rangers fans were expecting it to be after the Hearts game because of the negativity. It was there. Rangers backed their manager, and because of it's the start of a new project, you might seem to be not giving up straight away. But looking at it right now, there is no other option than to start looking for not only a new manager. I think the recruitment needs an overhaul at Rangers once again. I can't sit here and criticise the recruitment teams that has been there in the past and then look at this one and let it away with it, because the amount of players that came through the door. Chermiti was given an opportunity this evening as well. I know Rangers will go down to 10 men, and it becomes difficult for him in the second half, but I mean, I've never seen anything in the first half that's going to excite me as looking at a Rangers team and think, yeah, there's £8-10 million, whatever it was, on a striker. When you're signing that type of player, they have to come in, they have to make a difference, and it's not happening for Rangers. Listen, he's the one that's a big transfer fee. He's going to carry that, but there's others in that Rangers team that just look absolute miles off where they need to be if they're going to be successful. And ultimately, the Rangers manager, Russell Martin, will be the one that ends up paying the price for it. But as I said, for me right now, there's other people at the football club need to be held accountable as well, because right now the disconnect from the stands onto the pitch and beyond is as bad as I've ever seen.